I'm thinking we're not far from an orbit. An uncrewed orbit, obviously. I think that makes a good goal here. Let's see what else we got. Reach. Oh, suborbital trajectory. What did I just do? Wasn't that a suborbital trajectory? Yeah, just be in a suborbital trajectory. I like how the assumption is, of course, making it into space. Because technically, if you jump, you are in a suborbital trajectory. First satellite. Launch a first satellite into orbit. The first satellite into Kerbin. Launch a new vessel. Uncrew. Is again, all I got to do is put something into orbit. So that's a definite possibility. And we have comm relays starting to pop up. I'm not ready to put something around the moon yet. That's a little bit ahead. Kerbal kind. Establish it. A lot of these just for establishing orbits. There's a sort of some repeats there. I don't care. I'm going to take advantage of it. I think what I'm going to do, though, because we're going to make that, we're going to grab a bunch of these. So we're going to upgrade this. I like that. Boop. Boop. Is that a 1.11 thing? The little number coming up? I don't know. Or is it a mod doing that? Okay, so we're going to grab a bunch of these. So, suborbital trajectory. Oh, suborbital trajectory and return. Ah, that makes much more sense. Okay, that makes way more sense. We'll grab that one. This is the Chuck Yeager thing, but I gotta get jets first, obviously, for that. The Chuck Yeager break the sound barrier. No, we're not putting anything in orbit around the moon just yet. Establish a stable orbit about Kerbin. I guess anything will do, so we'll grab that. Oh, was there not? There was another one, I'm pretty sure. That was the crude miles. Oh, satellite. Here we go. First satellite, which again is just putting something in an orbit. Doesn't even have any kind of... So, boom. There we go. Grab 3 contracts. Oh, crew evolution. Oh, there's another one here. Oh, part testing. I don't care. I really have a hate on for part testing, don't I? Crude evolution says 1. It says 1 offer, but I grabbed it. Whatever. Whatever. That's alright. So, in here we go. And we're going to build ourselves... I don't think in all of that. No. We're going to start new. Because we do have the Octo Probe Core. So this is going to be the Octo 1. And the goal of this is an orbit. We want an actual 4-wheelsy satellite. We're going to make it nice and silvery like that. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick a mite under this. I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do this all with SRBs. Yeah, this is too big. Yeah. I mean, I could do that. That might not be stupid. Maybe let's think about what you're doing here, sir. That's really small. But that's just a regular one. Just trying to see if I can build something that's a little bit more aerodynamic. See, I think... Can I tuck? This is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. Do that, do that. Do that. Shroud off. Oh, won't it let me put that in there? I don't think it will. So I might just finagle this down there. A little bit of part clipping, but... And then on top of that, goes this little nose cone. Oh, that's not going to let me do that. Okay, new plan, new plan, new plan, new plan, new plan. Do it this way, do it this way. This way. That goes sneaking up that way. And now that's that. Close. We'll change the root part back to this. And put the shroud back on. Cute little payload. There. That looks good. That looks alright. And for engines, I do have this adorable little pug engine. It's like a mini version of the Terrier engine. Only 11 kilonewtons of thrust, but that's a nice little... Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. It's got a ton of thrust still, even with... Whatever, we'll play with that later. But I think that's... Well, this thing has lights. Shroud off. Light on? I don't see no lights. Whatever. Put that back. Okay. Needs science. Science. I'm not going to put the barometer. Kerbalism takes out the silly thing of... to be able to use a barometer, you have to be in the atmosphere. I'm going to save this. I mean, it takes 15 minutes to do one. I'm not going to put it on there. It's just not worth it. You can do it on the surface, you can do it flying, but once you're in space, it doesn't work, which makes sense because, you know, it's a vacuum. But what I think I shall do is put on the other stuff. Shroud off. Shroud on, shroud off. Science. Science, okay. Let's turn on that telemetry report. Let's configure the science. I don't think as you, that's not what I wanted. That one. As you, oh, yeah, as you go down the tech tree, this is capable of doing more. So now, oh, there we go. So I'm starting to get more ability to do more science. So I also have here the light experiment. The light experiment only takes 10 seconds. It only works in space. I don't know how much science is with the light experiment. Go to here. Oh, it's not going to tell me, is it? Really? Tells you data, but it doesn't tell you science. I guess we'll find out when we do it. Okay. I'll pull this out a little bit because it doesn't look right. There we go. So yeah, I think I could put a second probe body on here. Nah, we'll leave it the way it is for now. I want this thing to get up there, and I want it to stay up there. I think we now have... Yes, we do. I'm just going to put them around the outside like this. We can stick in... This is a 1.25 meter part. Not going to stick in there, right? A little bit, maybe a little bit, whatever. A little bit of clipping going on in there, but you know what? I'm not going to complain. Well, you might complain, but I'm not too. So we do now I'm actually getting to the point where I'm going to create something that's going to stay in space for a little bit. So actually, let's up the hard drive space. When you up the hard drive space, by the way, it does add cost and mass to the vessel. Like it's not... You can see the delta V changing over there. If you watch over here or over here. So it is affecting things, but I think it's worth it to have the bigger hard drive. Experience with Kerbalism has taught me that. But we have the Communitron 8 and we have the Communitron 16, both of which, for transmission, it's not going to, but what I'm looking at is the transmission speed. This has a transmission speed of 1.5 kilobytes per second, and the Communitron 16 is 2.2 kilobytes per second. So I'm going to go with the bigger Communitron 16. I don't think there's any reason to put on more than one. Or I think let's stick it. Want it all to fit underneath that shroud. Here. Extend that. Well, that's okay. This is turning into a nice tight little payload here. Sneak it up like that. That a little bit. Now, if I close this shroud, does everything hide under there nicely? I'm calling it. We'll see how it goes. It's a nice little science package. Okay, so the light experiment, you got to turn that on. The thermometer, you got to turn that on. The Geiger counter, we got to turn that on. So it's all waiting. What does Kerbalism say? We are only consuming 0.087 units of electric charge per second. That's even while we're transmitting, so that should be good. And we're producing 0.425, and we got 450. Should be fine. Should be fine as far as I think for electricity goes. Just gonna tuck these in a little bit. All right. Yeah, I'm not playing with KOS. Again, that's really kind of a speed thing. I love KOS, but I was just worried that watching me code live, it doesn't sound enjoyable for either you or for me. And using pre-made scripts, to me, just kind of obscures what it is that you're doing on a live stream. So I kind of just want to just not do that. All right, I'm going to try. I don't think I have. Oh, I do have reaction wheels. Ooh, okay. Let's see, they're just the small ones though. My biggest solid rook is still that. But that does give me 43. Now here's where suddenly we're getting a very big disagreement between what Kerbal Engineer is saying. Oh wait, that's because this is still on. Boink, there we go. 4,370 meters per second a delta. That's like, so this will have, I think the stability on that's gonna stink in the upper atmosphere. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm just thinking this. Just thinking this. Doesn't look like it should get into space, but the numbers say it should be able to get into space. I'm just looking at what else. That's the service module. It's various. I'll put some tail fins on it in a second. That doesn't matter. Heat shields don't matter. It's not coming back down. Batteries I've taken care of. Communication I've taken care of. That doesn't matter. Parachutes. Life supports. And these are all Kerbalism parts just separately. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with this. I think I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna simulate it first though. So let's take a look at our thrust to weights because they're a little bit stupid. Definitely this needs to come down. This time I'm gonna keep the gimbaling on because I can steer. That might be my primary means of attitude control. I should put some small tail fins down here. Oh, does Restock oh, that's right. I forgot. It's Restock that puts the gimbling on this hammer engine. That's not in stock. I played so much Restock that I start to forget what is and is not stock. Okay. And we'll turn the thrust down on this engine because it's a little bit on the ridiculous side. And it's not tilted. No, I should be able to steer. I'm thinking of giving this a go. We're gonna do a simulation. Let's simulate this, see what we got. It just doesn't look like something that should get to space. So SAS on, hoorah! It's exciting. And spacebar. Now I do have gimbling on this engine now, so that's one means of attitude control, and there are some reaction wheels in the Pro body. I didn't add additional ones. Okay, let's start pitching this over. So far so good. Okay, and I'm going to just kind of let it ride. See how it goes. So I turned off SAS. I've got my hands away from the keyboard. Just sort of letting it go naturally, hoping that the natural aerodynamics of this thing will take care of stuff for me. It has, on paper, a lot of delta V. A lot. So I'm not touching anything. I'm just letting it go. I got a feeling the top rocket will have more issues than the bottom rocket, so I'm going to put on the SAS when I go to separate. Oh, I don't know my time to apoapsis. I got to upgrade, I think, the tracking station for that. Now, of course, I could put on Kerbal Engineer. I've not been doing that. Okay, getting close to stage separation, but there. Oh dear, what happened there? I didn't turn that engine on. What happened there? Okay, that went bad. What? Terminate. I think I was just stupid. Let's just restart the simulation. I think I was just dumb. I don't think I have my throttle up. I think that's all that happened. I also think maybe what I should do, I think this gave it a huge kick. Oh, I can't. I can turn down the force on that decoupler, but I can't do it here. Okay, let's just try it. Throttle up. How's that for a thought? Now SAS. I think there was just too much of a kick, and oh, the shroud. Okay, yes, this is what's going. This staging is a mess. Oh my gosh, there we go. Check yo staging. That's what happened there. Totally awful staging situation. Lots of things went wrong there. Hence, we're doing a simulation. I do like this simulation mode. Especially once you get Kerbals involved. You know, then it sort of ups the stakes on your launches, you know, if something goes wrong. By the way, Kerbalism can enter in launch failures and engine failures and that kind of thing. So engines can suddenly fail, so you got to think about how you're going to deal with that. You should have abort sequences in mind, especially when there's Kerbals. But we'll try this again. Whoops, should be paying attention to this. Again, pretty happy with the ascent. I just had, that's what happened, is I blew off these fairings, and that of course changed the aerodynamics of this thing completely. Oh, Zed, stage again. Why was there a delay in the staging? Okay, oh, that's what I was worried about. Oh, I didn't have my SAS on. Oh my gosh. Can I get control? There, I got control again. Maybe, no, I don't. Okay, let's terminate the simulation back in the VAB. Shoot! Yeah, this very top part. First of all, I don't know, something went wrong with the staging again, but this very, very top part should be this way, first of all. But this is not stable. And really, that it doesn't even remotely look stable. I could I do have reaction wheels. I'm just running out of places to stow said reaction wheels. Let's take these batteries out. Oh, it doesn't even... I don't think it's going to let me... Oh no, because that node... It's the way I glitched that in there. What I could do, again... That's not entirely stupid, especially if I take this. No, this is entirely dumb what I'm doing. No, no, no. This is not the way to do it. Not the way to do it. The way to do it... Take all this apart. Got stuff everywhere. Like that. Like that. Like that. Nope, nope, nope. This will all make sense in a second. There, 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 there. And there. And then slide. No, 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 no. This one. Slide it up. Nope, I was better off the first way. There, 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 there. And I keep hitting the reroute tool instead of hitting the move tool. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm putting in some reaction wheels to improve the, hopefully improve the aerodynamic properties of this thing, or at least, sorry, the attitude control ability. Let's move this antenna down. Again, everything's got to get tucked under there. And batteries back. There's a lot of part glitching going on as I try and sort of tuck everything together. Whoops. A lot of part clipping. Why not? Why not? Put this back on. Fix this staging, for goodness sakes. Shroud back on. Shroud's the last thing there. Boomity, boomity, boom. I'm gonna keep that thrust up full. All right, let's try this again. Trying again. We're trying for an orbit. And this little rocket's kind of working against me. You think that antenna is going to clip when it comes out there, Pasta? It might have. I was moving things around pretty quickly. Let's see. Okay. SAS on. Throttle up. Go. And whoa! Forgot it's got those extra reaction wheels in there now. Pitched it over and it just jerked over. So there's a lot more attitude control on this thing now. I'm assuming this thing is collecting science and all of that kind of good stuff. Yeah, it definitely is. Of course, every time you revert, that science goes back. But I'm really determined I want to make an orbit. I want to make an orbit because that, I think, is a good goal to have on this first episode. And then next episode, I think we're starting to get closer to getting jets and things like that. Oh, shoot. Not paying attention at all. Okay, this is much better. I don't know what on earth I was looking at. But I wasn't looking at my launch. I wasn't looking at my launch. Okay, this is much better. Oh, I think we got this easy. Easy peasy. Okay, that's an 80-kilometer orbit. Still got 2,000 meters per second left in this thing. I can't imagine how this isn't going to work. So we're going to end the simulation now. We're going to terminate this. We're going to do this for real. We're going to get our first orbit. We're going to let this thing start to collect science. Kerbalism, by the way, does collect science. This is a for real launch now. Kerbalism does collect science in the background. So for these things that take a long period of time to collect all the science, once you've got them up there and they're stable and stuff, they will happily collect science while you are doing other things, which is great. Okay, this is for real now. SAS on, throttle up, do it. Oh, we got contracts too. Don't forget your contracts. So we're knocking this over. Last time I didn't really knock it over enough, I think. This time I'm knocking it over more. There we go. We're not going to do the suborbital trajectory and return, so I'm going to hide that one. So these are the two that we're interested in here. And I'm going to pay attention to this fuel part. Last time the staging caught me off guard. And another thing you can do with the Contracts Plus is you can assign contracts to specific missions and then call up the minion. It's just a great way. When I start having lots of contracts going, it's a great way to keep everything organized. All right, all right, all right. This is looking pretty good. I'm going to put the SAS on. We are pitched a little bit low, maybe not. But we're going to be... we're going to be losing this stage in a moment. Boom, there we go. Nice. And I'm keeping the SAS on now because I don't think the aerodynamics of this little... this thing is very, very sound. I'm just going to keep pitching it over. And that is 80 kilometers on the apoapsis. So we'll cut the throttle. Awesome, awesome, awesome. 1,651 meters per second still left in the vehicle. It looks great. Now let's turn the SAS off. There's no reason for it. Might start tumbling, but that's okay. Time warp this up a little higher. Now I don't know my time to apoapsis, so I do need to come out here. Oh, this doesn't help me either. Okay. All right, be that way. So we're gonna have to watch this from this end. Kind of prefer. Let's turn it here. There we go. Kind of prefer not to do this in map view, but because of the limitations, because of the tracking station, that's kind of what it is. Oh, we can space. I can tell by the music. I'm going to get myself closer to apoapsis. SAS on. Point this thing down towards the horizon. And I don't know, let's just do this. I could have put an engineer chip on this and gotten that data, but maybe next time. Now I can see I'm pushing the apoapsis away from me, so I'm going to let myself get a little closer to it. Start throttling up again. Pitch up a little bit. Don't want the apoapsis to go too far in front of me, and I don't want the apoapsis to fall behind me either. So you can control that with thrust, and you can control that with your pitch. You pitch down, you bring the apoapsis towards you. To pitch up, you push the apoapsis away from you. And that way you can end up with, you know, a decent looking orbit. And decent is good, I think. Let's start throttling down here because we're almost at our orbital velocity. You can see our periapsis popping up. I'm just watching it over here, giving very little thrust. That's an orbit. That's 80 by 80. Well, 82 by 81, but awesome! We have an orbit. Okay, I am so excited. So let's stage that. Oh, that was okay. Everything seemed okay. That was violent. Let's put on the antenna. No, the antenna's not glitching into anything. It's just clearing that. That looks okay. So we can really start transmitting this stuff away. Solar panel should be fine on this orientation. Electricity should be good. Oh yeah, we're generating fine. We still have 738 meters per second left in this vehicle, so we can easily put this in an orbit in high space. But what I think I shall do is let it collect the science that it's collecting here. The thermometer is done, I can see that. The light experiment is still going. No, it looks like it's done too. Geiger counter. It's still going. Well, you know what? Let's do this. The Geiger counter only has a few minutes left. So let's time warp for the Geiger counter. Oh, what is this? Establish a stable orbit and return. Oh, I still gotta... Oh, shoot. Okay. Okay, so this contract I had to return too. I wasn't paying attention to the fine print. Okay, so that's cool. We'll do that next time. This thing's not capable of returning. Alright, did the Geiger counter finish? It did. We've transmitted all of our data, so it's time for high space. I do not think... Let's just make sure, but given that absolutely no science has been collected, I do not think any of this stuff, the radiation scan... Oh, the radiation scan's connected to the radiation belts. Oh, I'll show people that in just a moment. Oh, I don't have the telemetry report. I have the light. I'm just checking to see if any of these got biomes on them, but I don't think they do. They don't. Yeah, the radiation scan. Notice it says space global, space inner belt, outer belt, magnetosphere. This is so cool. I have to show it to you for those people that have never played with Kerbalism. So here's Kerbin, looking beautiful with the environmental visual enhancements. But if I press 1 on the numpad, that is a lower Van Kerman radiation belt, because Kerbin now has a magnetic field and it's trapping parts of the solar wind and catching them in this belt. And if I get up into this belt, I can start collecting different radiation science. Also, when your Kerbals are in that belt, they don't like it too much. So you got to think about that when you have your Kerbals in space as well. And radiation can play can do damage to your electronics too. And if I go to number 2, there's the outer Van Kerman belt. And if I go to number 3, that is Kerbin's magnetosphere being pushed out by the solar wind. And so all of these are kind of like different space biomes for the radiation scan. So getting yourself into different places, I think 0 turns it off, yeah, we'll fix that up. But what I think I shall do is simply put this on. Now you have to be careful. Kerbalism again is Your engines only have so many ignitions. This engine has 16 ignitions left and 4 minutes and 10 seconds left of burn time. I can up the reliability of the engine, making it of a higher quality in the VAB. I can't do it now. But what that does is give you more ignitions and more burn time. These numbers aren't absolute. It's not like, oh, I got exactly 16 ignitions. It might fail before that. It might fail after that. The only thing that happens is as I get closer to 16, the chances of failure increases. In the same way, as I get closer to a total burn time of 4 minutes and 10 seconds, and that's the total amount of burn time, not just for one burn, the closer that this will get to failing as well. So I can't burn indefinitely, but what I can do, might as well, is put this up into high space. So I'm just pushing my apoapsis. Actually, I'm going to keep it in, no, I'm going to keep it in low space, but I'm going to put it to 240 kilometers. So I'm going for my apoapsis of 240 kilometers. I'm going to explain it in just a second. I want to still stay in low space. Watch those ignitions. Can't just twiddle with that. Put that back onto the normal vector for the solar panels. Okay, so why did I pick 240 kilometers? Because if I put back on that, that puts me into, 240 kilometers puts you into the radiation belt, but still in low space. So that's one biome. Then high space, still in this radiation belt, is a second biome. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'm going to go to 240 kilometers. Let's get out there. And when we get out there, you'll see it'll start collecting more data. As soon as I cross this boundary and get into this belt, you should see it starting to collect more radiation data. Come on, don't make me a liar. Really? Okay, now it's making me a liar. Let's circularize and see what's going on. I thought for sure it would be starting to collect more data for me. Okay, let's put this back onto prograde and circularize here. Of course, I don't have maneuver nodes or anything like that, but this is easy enough to do. Why is this not collecting data? Why? Oh well, find out in a second. Kerbalism's confusing. Get a little closer to apoapsis. I love it once you know your exact time to apoapsis, but I'm pretty sure I need to upgrade the tracking station for that. Okay, all I want to do is get my periapsis up into this belt, so the whole orbit is in this belt. There, that should do it. So that's 235, that's 241, great. Okay, and now we can explore what's going on with the radiation scan. It says waiting, it's already done. Interesting. Okay. I thought that would be more science. Am I high enough? I thought I was high enough. I thought, doesn't this look like I'm in that radiation belt? Let's take a look at the science thing again. Radiation scan. So we have... Oh, I already have space low. Oh, shoot. Okay, so scratch what I was just saying. Notice it doesn't say space low, space high. It simply says space. So high space, low space doesn't matter. I need to get out of the outer belt and into the higher belt. That is the issue. Okay. See, it just says space, not low space. Okay, my mistake. My mistake. Okay, so we need to get to this belt. We need to get our apoapsis up to there. So again, I'm going to point at prograde. Hopefully I got the fuel for it. I mean, this is all gravy. I wasn't expecting to do this. Still have 500 meters per second. Should be good. So I need to get up to this altitude. So let's put it on the... There. Even if I can get just the apoapsis up there, I mean, it'll sit there and collect it every time it gets up that way. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have... No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep doing this. This is what I'm doing. There, I'm out. Okay, but every time it comes out to this region, it should collect space in there, or radiation scan from this belt, and then it's going to drop back down. That's okay. I'm happy with that. Again, this is like gravy, little radiation zone. Now I'm going to make myself not a liar by time warping out till we cross into the outer belt here, and this time we're going to watch. Put it into a highly elliptical, or I think you're behind the. I think there was lag there. I think that's what I've done. I think I did what you were suggesting, John. Okay, there we go. So now we're into the upper radiation belt, and we're collecting science, and this is more radiation science for us. It's only going to take 3 minutes, so what was I sitting there fiddling with all these orbits for? It'll do this in one pass. I didn't need to worry about that. Let's take a look. One last look at science here. So radiation scan. Now it's collecting this outer belt radiation stuff. What about the thermometer? Is the thermometer done? Oh, I already got all my high thermometer. Okay. All right, we're good. I'm pretty happy with this. If I come over here, I think if I look here, total of almost 16 science has been transmitted so far. Nice.